This flight is headed toward leadership opportunities at the district level. And my Chief of Operations and Outreach, my COO this year at the district level, Jean Withers, is joining me tonight because Jean has been a dedicated district leader for many, many years, filling a number of critical roles around our district. And I couldn't think of a better person to share her experience and what those paths into roles at the district could possibly look like. So Jean, if you'll roll, we've got a couple of PowerPoint segments here, and then we'll get into a conversation. So we really want you to consider these opportunities, and we're going to lay many of them out tonight and hopefully answer some questions and generate some interest. But first, just to set the table, when we talk about serving at the district level, what is a Rotary district? What's our Rotary district look like? What kinds of skills and experience are we looking for? And then what are those paths to getting involved? How does it work? And there isn't just one answer to that, but we'll give you some examples and provide some suggestions.
Rotary districts are the tool by which our wonderful clubs are supported and guided and helped. Districts essentially are geographic groups of clubs totaling 2,000 to 3,000 Rotarians. Our own district, as you know, likely is King County and Southern Snohomish County. Our most northerly club is Mill Creek. Our southerly club is Enumclaw. There are 46 Rotary clubs, plus 6 Rotaract clubs, plus 20 Interact clubs in our district. Our district is called 5030. There are around the world something like 535 Rotary districts, each with a specific numeric designations. And the point of the district is to serve the clubs and be the vehicle to communicate with Rotary International.
So what's our district look like? And Jean, could you go into show mode?
There we are.
All right, so you already got a quick preview. The sole officer of Rotary International at the district level is the district governor. And the district governor puts together a team to help support the clubs and implement Rotary International initiatives. And we'll just pause here. I know this might look like an eye test, but this is our leadership team this year. And you can see all different types of responsibilities to basically run a district. Everything from training and finance, managing the foundation work, providing socials and some fun, arranging a district conference, serving as treasurer, secretary, a wide variety of opportunities. The other big opportunity for leadership is to serve as an assistant governor. And this year we have 12 assistant governors, and our district is growing. And so starting July 1st, we are going to add a 13th assistant governor. And I'm happy to see Diane on the call tonight. She's finishing up her 3rd year as an assistant governor. We might call on you, Diane, to share with us what that's been like, because you're probably our most senior assistant governor in the district right now. So these are true leadership roles, but in fact, working and supporting each of those individuals that you saw on that org chart are other individuals that are helping with promotions, that are helping with agendas, that are helping in a variety of support capacities. And it may be on finance, and it could be in meeting planning, a whole range of areas of expertise that we need at the district level. Jean, do you want to add on to that? Because you've been in many of those boxes that we just saw on that org chart.
I have, and I should tell you that Each one of those roles is unique. It's almost always well-defined, and at the same time, there are opportunities to help it be the best it can be at the moment. Sometimes it's different in a different year, and there are always new initiatives and new ideas coming out as Rotary pivots and changes. So my experience is whatever role you're in is really unique and interesting in Rotary.
So let's talk to get the conversation going. Let's take a look specifically. I was starting to list some of the skills and some of the experience that we need at the district level. But Jean, let's see the slide that starts to list those.
And one moment. Not the moment to freeze, and I'm sure it won't. Forgive me.
That's okay. That's okay. I'll make a comment. I talked before about the these official positions, but Jean alluded to it, and we can talk a little bit about it because it certainly has been the case this year that as Rotary has new initiatives, as the district decides to respond, this is the slide, that's great, Jean. It opens up more opportunities than we originally envisioned at the beginning of the year, and I imagine that it's been true in the past, and I imagine it will be true in the year ahead. Before I talked about marketing, this has really been an area, marketing and public image and social media could kind of go in a bucket together because we've really tried to activate and enhance our public image efforts this year. And so we've been calling on Rotarians from all over the district, whether it's someone who can do the videography for our monthly public service announcements, whether it's someone that can develop creative posts for our social media, or someone who can help design the bus ads, and a wide range of Rotarians have contributed their marketing and social media skills this year, and we're going to need more and more folks to step up in the year ahead. I'll jump down on the event and meeting planning. The district conference is a tremendous opportunity to get to work with people around the district and just staging a district conference, and we've got a great one planned in Coeur d'Alene for fall in the first weekend of October. But even as the planning continues with that, some great groundwork has been laid, but there are still opportunities to support and help the various components from breakout sessions and speakers to facilities, registration. I'm sure the list is long. And if that kind of event planning and organizing is of interest, definitely can use the support. Over the course of a year, the district needs some very specific legal and finance expertise to help us on the finance committee, to help us prepare our tax returns as a district, to answer some legal questions. This year, we've been challenged with legal questions around youth protection and some other issues around workplace and meeting spaces and things like that. Whenever we're obliged to look at a legal kind of contract, we'd like some legal expertise and support to help us with that. And the other one I'll just highlight is the writing and the communication skills. Lots of opportunities with our district newsletter, with our district website, lots of opportunities to help communicate and support getting the word out about Rotary. Jean, do you have anything else to add as examples on these checklist of skills?
I'm enjoying the list. Among the things I want to stress here is sometimes when we volunteer, we're afraid we're volunteering for the whole thing. And in fact, more and more at the district, we're volunteering as part of a group. And that means that it's a real opportunity to get to serve with folks who are learning a new skill or a new area at the same time, or maybe who know more, and maybe we're supporting them. So it's not that you're taking on all of conflict resolution in the district. No, it's that it's an area in which we see a need, and there are a bunch of people who know a lot about it all over the district, and you can be one of them, or you can enhance your skills.
Let's look at the rest of that list of support we need. One of the things we're regularly receiving inquiries for information, for project support in other languages. And so I've called on Rotarians across the district to help me translate communications that are coming in. We've got a wide range of projects undertaken at the district level. And a classic example of that is our whole initiative on COVID and the COVID response. And so we put together a task force, and they've been got a project management kind of punch list to execute on our COVID response. We are on a system called DAC-DB, District and Club Database, and there's always an opportunity there to help us enhance the functionality and the usage and the training around using our database. And training is another big area of opportunity. We try to provide training in public image, in membership, on the foundation. This entire month of training has involved many hands to make this program this month come together. But there's also an opportunity to do additional training and on whatever happens to be a need to know skill or a need to know insight. And we've been calling them pop-ups, and I know there's going to be more pop-ups in the year ahead. So if you've got a particular expertise, a particular insight, particular story to share, and those skills and that information can be transferred readily through our online platform, please raise your hand and be part of our training and development team. Jean, you want to talk about the last two there, because those are important as well.
Yes, and I also do want to say what we've really learned this year, particularly starting with the when we all basically went into lockdown from COVID, was folks with technical skills are vital to the future of our district and the future of Rotary, and that's going to continue to be true. Boy, do we need you. At the same time, the kinds of skills that we've always needed, like fundraising, often are changing. There are new ideas and new ways of doing it, sometimes created by the new environment we're in. And that kind of evolution of skills is the thing that keeps Rotary vital and current, and it gets to be so important. And if you have talents or if you have ideas, those areas right now are all in flux. So please, need your help. One of the things to know is that you can, at any point, step up and say, I really love Rotary, and I really want to know more, and I have an idea. You could volunteer on some task force. You could just love a particular area of Rotary and let people know, your assistant governor or maybe your club leader, somebody who joined the district party, as we like to think of it, and is so vital to us, is Jeff Brennan. Jeff was really the grants guy in Mill Creek Rotary, and he moved from there into working on district grants, and now in the last 3 years, I believe, has become invaluable as the chair of our district Rotary Foundation Committee. So there are opportunities here to grow. You may have heard something new. There may be something new you see evolving in your field that could be vital to the district that we need to know about. Trust me, the district leadership really wants to hear about you. Please, don't wait to be asked. Step up and let people know what you're seeing and hearing and want to do out there.
So I'd love to have some specific examples. We've talked about some maybe abstract concepts here and alluded to the needs, but I'm looking across the screen here, and I've got a couple people I'm going to call on to share their particular experience. And Diane, I gave you early warning before. You served as a club president at Bellevue and then stepped into a role as AG. You've served or are serving on the district conference committee. Tell us briefly how you got involved at the district level. How did that happen?
I didn't have anything else to do in life other than
We don't believe that.
no. Well, you know, when you're how did I get involved? I guess I decided that I wanted to find out more about the district. And I think that people just don't realize how many issues the district deals with. It's not unusual when you are in an organization to say, the more I know, the less I really know. In other words, I learn more, and every day I realize I never knew that. And then you realize you didn't know other things. So Rotary International has become involved in many different areas. And those areas, none of them are uncomplex. They have many facets to them. And while they have become involved, they have put everything out to the districts to implement, and that is a lot of work. And so the opportunity to learn about that, to figure out what the district could do to find better avenues for the clubs that I worked at to implement those policies. There's just so much to do. I feel like I never get anything done. And I do one task and it takes a while, and then I do another task and it takes a long time. So there's just so much for the district governor and her staff, his or her staff, to implement. It just is amazing. And it's all good. There's lots of good things out there, and we learn, and it helps us, I think, in our everyday life.
I think one of the most important things that many people feel about Rotarians is these are some of the best people in the world. And folks who work at the district level are really dedicated to clearing the way so that the best people in the world who have these great ideas can actually implement them and move forward with them and find a vehicle for them. The whole DEI initiative this year emerged from the clubs and came up for the district to work with or not. And all of that can be an easy issue or a challenging one. But the point is, it comes from the base, and our base in Rotary is you.
So I forgot to mention one of the second thing I thought that was really helpful and for me in my life is meeting other people from other clubs. I know people from my clubs in my district area, which is Area 1. I've known many of them, but what I didn't know is members from other clubs in other places. And that is really a nice result after you're done in your leadership position, is just saying, hey, I know that person and I can call that person for you if you want. And here's the person that is an expert on this. It's really a benefit that you get from working in the district.
So I'm going to connect a couple of dots here because while it's been fun to hear Diane talk about her role as an assistant governor, assistant governors are critical in this kind of chain here because often they're the ones that are going to be at a club and may be able to share information about what's happening at the district, and they are a conduit. So find your assistant governor, and they are a great way to say, I'm interested, or who do I talk to? Because the assistant governors usually have all the answers, probably more than anybody else in the district. I'm going to call on the two more examples. I'd like to ask Patricia, who is the current club president at Duval, and while she's had an amazing year, she has already carved out time to dip her toes in the district waters, and you've been on our reactivated district public image committee. So talk about that, your experience and how you had to pull together a wide variety of skills to execute on our public image campaign this year.
Thank you. Yes, I am president here in Duval, and I'm going to be president again next year. We got a 2 for 2 going out here. And first, I want to encourage you, don't be intimidated, because I became involved with the public image team through Robin Rote, who is the public image chair. If you've ever met Robin, you will remember that you've met Robin. She has this fabulous energy. She is just amazing. And I kept running into her over the past 4 or 5 years. And when she became public image chair, she came up to me when we were over in Spokane at the last district conference that we were able to be in person. And she said, I'm the public image chair and I want you on my team. And I didn't know what I was going to need to do. I wasn't even sure what she was asking me to do, but I'm in. And I said, I don't know anything about building a website. I can post on Facebook. What do you need? And it's a range of folks on that committee. We have some people who website design is what they do. We have one young lady, she worked for the company that put the signs on the buses. And she said, I can get these signs on the buses, but you need to tell me what you want. So I was part of the idea input for those bus ads. And we listened to everybody. You know, there were a range of ideas. We also work with Karma McKay, who does our fabulous district newsletter. Part of what my duties were, I was assigned 3 clubs, and I need to babysit my clubs and say, if you're reading the district newsletter and you don't see your club's name in there, it's because you didn't give them anything to put in there. And so stop feeling left out and whiny. At least put it on your Facebook page. If you don't know how to put it on your Facebook page, we can show you how. And, so there was a range of us. So I guess my big message is don't be intimidated. You are not in your own little corner of the world. You are part of a bigger picture, and we need everybody.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you for everything you've done so far this year. Really grateful to you, and you're a real role model for stepping right in and working on behalf of the district.
Mm-hmm.
Skip Rowland, are you available to come on camera for a minute? I'm going to talk about Skip for a minute because Jean mentioned it, one of the opportunities that came up, which wasn't part of the plan this year, was to respond to so many questions and issues around diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. And so we put together a task force, and one of the members who's been very helpful this year in just even thinking through these topics and figuring out how to communicate and how to bring it forward for Rotarians to think about has been Dr. Skip Rowland. So Skip, I would I be accurate in saying that this might have been your first major opportunity at the district level?
No, ma'am.
One of-
My first opportunity was at a district conference maybe 20 years ago, making a presentation on, I think, Rotary Mentors with Steve Boyer.
Okay.
But I'm on a research mission. I've been asked to write a curriculum that helps Rotary understand different cultures better. And the only way to understand that is to, every time I see something come up that I can attend it and begin my study. What's on your agenda? How do you process your agenda? How do people speak up? What is the culture here? And how does this culture and the other cultures out there that Rotary impacts and wants to impact, how can I help stimulate imaginations to develop multicultural communications patterns that help to change some minds and attitudes and empower other minds and attitudes to set goals? So I'm here on a research mission and I'm learning a lot. I hope I've said something interesting.
Absolutely, but it's an example of how you're contributing to our
Thank
district,
you. Yes.
which is wonderful, and we're grateful for that. And I'd like to actually put the spotlight on our incoming district governor, Howard Cohen, because he also has an interesting path coming into his about to be role as our district governor starting July 1. Howard, would you tell us a little bit about how you got involved in the district, that first step?
Thank you, Kathy and Jean. My first introduction to the district was back in, believe it or not, 2002, when I was a member of the Renton Club, and District Governor Rosemary Aragon came to speak to our club and was telling us about her conference that she was going to have up in Victoria. And so at the end of the meeting, I was all excited about meeting a district governor, and went up and said, well, gee, I work in hotels. Could I help do anything on your district conference? And she said, sure, I need a rooms chair. So I volunteered, and we flew up to Victoria on one of those float planes. And it was a beautiful day on the way up. But unfortunately, we couldn't get back that night because of a storm. So the Empress put us up overnight, which was not anything to cry about. And I got to know Rosemary a little better. And she said to me, the first step you need to do to get involved in the district is you have to become a club president. So right after that, my club, totally unsolicited, asked me to be the president of the club, which at that time I had moved to Seattle and joined the Queen Anne Club. And I was like, yes. And once I became a club president, and I joined back up into the district and became an assistant governor and a vocational chair, and eventually became a district governor. I think the real purpose of being in the district is to share your excitement about Rotary with others, inspire them, acknowledge them, and celebrate with them, and let people know that whatever your passion is, you can bring that to Rotary and to others. And you know, once you explain what your passion is, others will open up and go, well, this is what I want to do. And you go, well, you can do it. Even if your own club doesn't do that, there's a club in the district that will do that, or a club in RI that will do that. And you can reach your passionate goals one way or the other through your club, through your district, or through Rotary International.
Yeah, well said. I think maybe now we'll pause and take the opportunity to field some questions. You know, how could I get involved? Do you have a need? Whatever is on people's minds, just to try to be responsive if people are thinking about taking that next step, if we can encourage you by answering any questions or any additional comments.
Well, the one thing I wanted to bring up was, you know, they always ask people, when did you join Rotary? And when did you become a Rotarian? And my answer is I joined Rotary in 2001, and I became a Rotarian really in 2005 when I went to the international conference in Chicago for the 100th anniversary, and also the year that I was going to become a president of my club. And I walked into the House of Friendship, and I was overwhelmed with tears to walk around and see booth after booth after booth of passion after passion after passion. And what Rotary does locally and around the world, I mean, it was just mind-boggling what a club, what a person, what an individual can do. And that has never left my mind ever since. I've been to many conferences around the world, but the first one in Chicago was definitely an eye-opener.
We didn't know each other then, Howard, but I was also in Chicago and found it the moment that the lights lit up for me in terms of the expanse and range and
Wow.
reach of Rotary. It was awesome.
I thought you looked familiar.
We have like 40,000 people in Chicago that year.
That's right.
For
That's
the
right.
convention. All right. Thank you for adding that. Skip.
Sure.
Yes, very briefly, would it be okay to add international skills to that skill set? You know, we do work with the diplomats, and what Howard says is really true. I mean, being a member of Rotary has really been a benefit to me as I have traveled the world. So international skills. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
I would also say that as the responsibilities of the district have become larger and more demanding and more profound, you don't really just have to have been a club president to have been involved, to be involved in the district. It is required in some cases, but not in all. Trust me. So if you have an interest, step up. There's a place.
Are we hearing a common theme here?
I wanted to add one more thing to what Skip said on the international basis. There's a program in Rotary, which is well known as Rotary Action Groups. And if you're a golfer, if you're a musician, if you're a traveler, you can belong to a Rotary Action Group. It's either free or $25 or $35. And you can be friends with somebody in Zimbabwe or Nepal or Australia. And again, your world of Rotary opens up. Great comment, Skip, about international.
Yeah, for sure. I know that you've signed up for tonight's session, hopefully because you're willing to consider serving at the district. But I would also ask you to be the eyes and ears of the district. If you know someone in your club who isn't on in our meeting tonight, to invite them to come and join you, or to speak up, or to make the referral to the district and suggest that that individual or those individuals be contacted. We really appreciate the suggestions of others, in addition to those who are here tonight.
That's really well said, Kathy. I was going to add, building on the past couple of comments, that I think we can all relate to the idea that you join Rotary, but you don't really fully understand it because you don't know what you don't know. And after your second or third year, you get exposed to a presentation from someone from the district, or there's a very meaningful meeting that kind of, is that light goes on moment for Rotarians. And to the extent that we can all network and continue to spread that within our own clubs, the value of not just participating more actively in our own clubs, which will keep our clubs healthy and vibrant, but also messaging the leadership opportunities and the opportunities for growth, and to really, I think, especially as we all develop our careers, we all enjoy this idea of being able to be more influential, and you've got the opportunity to do that by helping to kind of get the word out about, it's not just about what's happening within our club, it's what's happening in the district, and how by collaboration we can leverage that impact and bring it all the way up to the RI level.
Well said, totally true.
Very, very much so.
So I just want to take a second, because I'm seeing 12 people here, and I think the majority of you are already very active, very involved in your clubs and at the district level. And my name is Deb, and I'm relatively new to the University Rotary, relatively new meaning the last 2, maybe 3 years. And really, like Diane, I think you said, just trying to think, okay, how do I, what next? How do I get involved in this? And so I appreciate what everybody's saying, but what I'm hearing is just raise your hand. There's a need. And so good, I'm glad to participate in here, see what's happening at the district level. I'm thinking also, how do I get more involved at my local level?
Well, I'm really
Especially
glad you
now
spoke
that
up
things are
as well,
virtual.
Deb, because I saw that you had a friend in the background who was looking for your attention, and
Yeah,
yet you were still focused on the meeting. So much appreciate the willingness to speak up and share a bit of your story. What got you interested in joining the University Club?
well, I was, recently retired from Seattle Children's Hospital. And prior to that, realizing that I was planning that and thinking, okay, I need to think about what's next, and I also appreciate I'm a person that needs some structure in order to actually do things. And I thought something like the Rotary Club provided some structure. Also, and primarily wanting to continue to be in service to people. So to others. And I had a close friend, Lisa, who we worked at Children's a little bit. And she was always saying, you'd like this. You really would like this. And have developed some relationships, but I had some interesting things happen in the last couple of years. So I wasn't as visible as I would like to be. So now I'm ready to say, okay, how do I do this?
Thanks for speaking up.
Yeah.
There was a
Thank
question
you.
in the chat regarding, is there still a Rotary Academy? Kathy, maybe you should speak to that.
I'd be happy to. And Rotary Academy is near and dear to my heart because that actually was my first exposure at the district level. I attended a Rotary Academy, and when I finished, then I was asked to participate in delivering some of the content from the academy. So that was my first toe in the district waters. But that was quite a while ago. The challenge, the short answer is no, there no longer is a Rotary Academy. But let me just take a moment and explain. This was a multi-segment curriculum that was offered, open to everyone in the district, but particularly targeted for club leaders and district leaders. So it was a little bit of Rotary 101. Everything you wanted to know, became familiar with manual of procedures and district policy manuals and all kinds of nuts and bolts Rotary information. The challenge arose about 4 years ago. There were so many changes from Rotary's Council of Legislation that we weren't able to keep up with the changes in Rotary. And our content wasn't fresh anymore. And it took a lot of time and effort in the years leading up to that to keep it up to date. And we just didn't have the resources. And so Rotary Academy has slowly phased out. We are working, however, to replace it. And with something that is more contemporary and more current and probably a little bit more flexible format. You maybe have heard of RLI, Rotary Learning Institute, and I think we'll be riffing off of that theme. And the other thing, just as a heads up, which will provide many additional opportunities at the district level, is we've always had a district trainer. This year it's Wendy Fisher from Bellevue Breakfast. But we've had a solitary individual leading the district training effort. And that has just become unsupportable, just too heavy a load for an individual. Jean knows, because Jean has served as our district trainer in the past. And she knows it's a huge job. So we are putting together a training and development team at the district level. And there'll be individuals who will take responsibility for curriculum development, for content delivery, for the technology, for feedback, for updates, a whole host of things. So instead of having a district trainer, we'll probably engage, I would imagine when it's fully built out, probably 10 to 15 individuals will have prominent roles, and then individuals supporting them. So if you have any interest in the learning and development side of Rotary, it'd be a wonderful opportunity to get in on the ground level with what will be our next generation of Rotary Academy. So long answer to your short question, Scott, maybe more than you want to know. All right, well, Amy, something to add. And I hope you consider district opportunities, Amy. Amy's the current president at Vashon Island, having a phenomenal year also.
Yes, I just wanted to say also that I'm the ambassador to Music Men's Minds, and we've been at 2 different Rotary International conventions and made really important relationships that have lasted for years with the Alzheimer's Dementia Rotary Action Group and the International Fellowship for Rotarian Musicians. So a little bit of what Skip was talking about, those relationships that help internationally, so that currently Music Men's Minds has, even during heavy COVID problems in India, some Mumbai Rotarians, if you can believe this, who are working to put out a needs assessment to see if Music Men's Minds would be beneficial as a music therapy project for people with Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, stroke, that kind of stuff. And, you know, they're making a little bit of progress. They're having a lot of problems in Mumbai right now, but it will shift. And we've got some really great partners also with Dr. Mary Middleman, who is from New York University and has done a fantastic job of putting together quality of life scales that are used throughout the research world that we can use at Music Men's Minds also to see how singing and playing music boosts people out of isolation and depression, and that those kind of happy faces kinds of things. How do you feel after you do a session, and what difference does that make to you and your family? So getting some metrics out of this research also, which I think will be super helpful. And then finally, just like Rotary needing more technology, so does Music Men's Minds. And so we've got a whole group of people putting together a curriculum on how do you use this effectively via Zoom? How do you do it effectively in person? How do you do it in India or Uruguay or Canada or Indonesia that fits your culture and your appropriateness in holidays and all that kind of stuff for music? Because it's proven medically that music is medicine. So we're trying to figure out how do we effectively export that globally through our Rotary contacts in both of these Rotary Action Group and the Fellowship of Rotarian Musicians. And both of those organizations have thousands of members all over the world. So yeah, those are really valuable relationships.
Absolutely. And you brought this Music Men's Mind to the district and have led the effort.
Yes.
So it is indeed another example of district leadership by bringing this project to our district and then obviously expanding it globally. Jean, you want to take us home?
Exactly. We yes, it's one of those moments, isn't it? Excuse me. This only happens on live television, you know.
Oh, dear. Well, do you want to try one more time, Jean? Third time's a charm.
You're right here. Yes.
Don't worry, Jean, you're only proving that you're human.
Yes.
Good to me. You can step into a district role. Is this
Not this one.
Or maybe go out of show mode and we'll just advance the slides
Yeah.
in the preview.
Looks like it's going to need to do that, I think. Excuse me, folks.
No problem.
The nope, it's not going to cooperate. The thing I really want you to leave you with is, in the years I've worked with Rotary, I have really discovered that I got out of it more than I put into it. Is anybody surprised by that, right? I think we often find that we do that, and when we participate in something, it often leads to something better and more important for us personally. When Patricia was talking, I was particularly thinking about how often when we work, there may be an aspect of us that's not fulfilled, and perhaps in Rotary and through Rotary, we're able to get out a different kind of skill, or get involved in a different kind of way, doing something, we've never done before, or maybe even knew we wanted to do. So we often get a new involvement with people, a new skill that we can't do at our work or in our other volunteer activities. We also get at a point where we are working with, as Diane said, a completely different set of people, right? In your club, one group of people, and the district level people, different set, different perspectives, and they then leave you with this powerful understanding of how things can happen, and you really get a powerful feel for the reality of Rotary's impact around the world. And it is a way you come to understand how not only how big Rotary is, but how vital it is to the whole world. Kathy?
All right, I'm just putting some things into the chat that we're going to be in this final slide. We were going to provide some contact information, but just reach out to me if you're interested, and I'll make sure you get directed to the appropriate person. And also in terms of specific needs for the coming Rotary year. Always ongoing support to support our membership efforts, our public image support, vocational service. And as I mentioned, as we're expanding our training platform, anyone who's interested in the curriculum development, the technology side, content side, delivery side, measurements and whatever on the learning and education, we would welcome that as well. So with that, thank you for your time, but above all, thank you for your interest. I hope I hear from everyone. And I hope you send lots of recommendations. So thank you for all you're currently doing for Rotary, and thank you so much for what you're considering doing in the future for Rotary.
Thank you, everybody.
Great job, Kathy and Jean.
Night all.
Thank you again, Jeff, for your support as well. You got us started on time and ending on time. That's great.
Have a good evening, everyone. Take care. We'll see you next time.
Bye for now.